If you're a Blue Lock fan, you know PXG vs Bastard Munin is the current and final game of the Neo Egoist League, a perfect way to put a ribbon on one of the best arcs. The most hyped up game in Blue Lock, the one with the most rivalries, the current number 1 and 2 going against each other, and I guess Igaguri and Nanase, but the two best teams in the NEL going against each other for the crown. But what if this super hype and unpredictable game has already been solved? And that's why I'm here today. Your favorite Nanase cosplayer, Hyrio, is going to be giving his best shot at what I think will happen in PXG vs Bastard Munin, and why I think the winner is already decided. And if you want to be a winner too, hit that subscribe button because I'll be here to cover all of this beautiful game and see it unfold, and you guys should see it too. Alright, so the first thing that makes this game super hype is probably the characters in this match. Both sides have super stacked teams, rivalries, revenge arcs, and fan favorite characters we haven't seen in literally 2 years, or over 100 chapters. But the two most important characters in this match is Kunigami and Nah, it's obviously Isagi and Rin. The first thing we need to look at to solve this game is the lineup itself. Although both lineups are super stacked, we gotta look at the capable goal scorers. Even though PXG has the likes of Karasu, a young prodigy in Charles, and a speedster in Zantetsu, the two capable goal scorers of the team are obviously Rin and Shido. As hype as it would be to see someone like Tokimitsu score a goal for PXG, these two are the only players who have actually scored goals for the team and are obviously the lead forwards going into this match. After Munin side, we have 3 capable goal scorers, the main character Isagi, Kunigami, who is bound to show off due to his recent development and rivalry with Shido, and also Kaiser, who has a new weapon up his sleeve. We'll definitely see Rin score a goal, showcasing his skills of being the number 1. Shido obviously is one of the best goal scorers in the series. Isagi is the strongest he's ever been, and also plot-wise needs a goal in order to contend for the number 1 spot. Kunigami has way too much development in this game for him to not score a goal, and Kaiser is kind of 50-50, but with a recent backstory and a new weapon, the last time we'll see him before the World Cup, it does make sense if we do see a goal from him. Let's get into an actual argument though. As I mentioned earlier, Rin and Isagi. So with Rin's goal being to crush his brother Sai and his main rival Isagi, we can probably predict that he'll accomplish these goals as the deuteragonist of the series. His goal, however, is way different than Isagi's goal. Isagi's goal from the start has always been chasing that number 1 spot. From Ego's speech to the most recent chapters, solidifying his goals for what he wants, which is to become the world's best player. Right away, you can see that Rin's goal is different than Isagi's. He doesn't necessarily care about being the number 1 player, rather just proving Isagi and his brother wrong. Isagi's goal is much more ambitious than this, chasing to be the number 1 or best player. To these characters, most likely the two most important characters in the series, the main character and his rival, a chance to complete both their goals. And I believe the answer is in this current game, PXG vs Bastard Munin, which is why I bring it up here, and why I think this game is already solved, with Bastard Munin winning because of this argument. But before we jump to conclusions, listen to this. Rin's goal isn't stuck up on being the number 1. He could care less if he wasn't the number 1 in the NEL, as his main goal is beating Isagi and Sai. Rin is probably the biggest sore loser in Blue Lock, and also the biggest grinder. A person who hates to lose because he wants to make progress towards his goal. But his goal is what he cares about. It's been solidified way too many times, and as the main rival, I do think he'll complete his goal of beating Isagi and beating Itoshi Sai. So during the PXG vs Bastard Munin game, I can totally see Rin beating Isagi during this match, kind of like how Nagi beat Isagi, whether it be by keeping the number 1 spot, which again he doesn't care too much about, or just outplaying him. I don't think Rin will lose to Isagi. No matter what, he'll quote-unquote beat him during this game. Bastard will win the game, but Rin will still be above Isagi. This will push Isagi for more development in the future, as he can't accomplish his goal just yet. Yukitsagi, it's a little too early for him to be the number 1 in my opinion. I could see the argument of him leading the U20 Japan team, but at the same time, I think it would make more sense for him to reach the number 1 spot during the World Cup arc at the end of the series, because again, his goal is to be the best player in the world, not the best U20 player, so he'll need to beat everyone in the World Cup. He quite literally said he wants to reach the level of the World 5, and he'll have to dethrone Noel Noah, who is the current number 1, in order to be the best player in the world, putting Rin away to give him his ego and the drive to become the number 1. It's been Sai's goal this whole time. Rin beating Isagi and staying number 1, even if he loses to Bastard Munin, means Sai is the final hurdle for both of the brothers to complete their goals. Sai made Rin a top striker, which was his goal, and Rin finally beat and will be acknowledged by Sai. Rin will beat Sai in the World Cup, the brothers complete both their goals, make up, and since Sai acknowledges Rin at Japan's improvement after losing to them in the U20, he'll help them and join the regular World Cup roster, as Sai has been hinted at for so long to play for Japan again. Isagi's goal is again one of the main points we had to look look at. He is the main character. He has to complete his goal. The U20 World Cup, I think, will end in a loss, even after Japan beats Spain or Rin beating. The opportunity Isagi will have is in the actual World Cup. Isagi's goal is to be the best player in the world, not just the best U20 player. With Sai rejoining Japan, Rin will have completed his goal in the U20 arc, and now the focus is back on Isagi, our main character, for the actual World Cup. His goal, his originality, the only thing he desires is becoming the best player in the world. This specific way of Rin staying number 1 and Bastard winning helps push the plot forward for the Deuteragonist, places the main rival above our main character, gives our main character so much more development and also proof that he's getting closer to Rin by beating his team, and reintroduces Itoshi Sai back into the story and the Japan team. Kunigami getting closure on his rivalry with Shido makes sense here as well by beating him and being acknowledged by him. Showcasing Kaiser's skills as well before we say goodbye to his character until the U20 will also hype him up even more going into the World Cup. There's also the argument I made before about goal scorers. I still do think Kunigami, Kaiser, Isagi, Rin, and Shido will score 1 goal each, meaning Bastards win. Again, not too much support around those, but they're still valid arguments. Also, going off salary rankings, Rin is currently 48 million above Isagi, assuming Rin scores a goal as well, which we've been saying. And Kaiser still needs to be formidable or above Isagi as a rival going into the U20. So I guess that means Kunigami doesn't get a goal. Bro does absolutely nothing. Even though you've seen it already in the first chapter of this match, the fact that there's infinite substitutes, players we haven't seen, Loki for Christ's sake, it's obviously going to be such a hype match to see.